current news podcast.
With Elu and Jesse.
Yes.
All right, so picture this. You open your mailbox, right? And there it is, another one of those political flyers.
Ugh, tell me about it.
And it gets under your skin, you know. Maybe you agree with it, maybe you don't, but what do you do?
Yeah, usually just...
Toss it in the recycling, right? Exactly. But this deep dive, it's about a time that did not go down like that, not even close.
Oh, boy.
We're going to Farmington Hills, Michigan, September 2024. And a political flyer, well, let's just say it sparked something way more serious, way more.
I'm intrigued. What happened?
We're talking straight up news here, reputable sources.
Right.
CBS Detroit did a deep dive, really got into it. The gist is this. 61-year-old guy sees a flyer with, get this, Vice President Kamala Harris, and just loses it.
Loses how? What, like tears it up, throws it away angrily?
Oh, no. This guy, he actually assaults the postal worker who's delivering his mail.
Whoa, hold on. Seriously, over a flyer.
It's insane, right? Like, come on, it's a piece of paper. But it gets even wilder, trust me.
Okay, now you have to tell me everything.
We're talking racial slurs being thrown around, even a knife gets pulled. The postal worker, she had to use pepper spray to defend herself.
That's terrifying.
Yeah,
It's beyond disrespectful. It's scary.
Totally. And, you know, it'd be easy to just be like, okay, that's crazy, and move on, but...
But there's something bigger at play here. Right.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to unpack today. What does this say about where we are as a country?
It's like this incident. It's like a tiny crack on the surface that reveals this huge chasm of political polarization beneath. You know?
It really feels that way sometimes, doesn't it? Like everything's so amplified, so intense.
It's like the volume's always cranked up to 11, and people, they're on edge. It's a recipe for disaster.
And we're not even talking about like, oh, I disagree with this policy kind of stuff.
This was different. This wasn't a debate. It was a targeted attack, a hate crime.
Because of someone's race, because of who they probably support politically.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so dangerous. It creates this climate of fear, of intolerance. It's like you can't even exist in public without worrying about being attacked for who you are or what someone thinks you believe.
Yeah, and forget about actually talking about these issues, having real conversations if there's this fear hanging over everything.
Exactly. It shuts down any chance for dialogue, for understanding.
Reading about this case, I kept thinking about the postal worker. I mean, talk about scary. But she was so brave, so quick thinking.
It's true. To be able to defend yourself in that situation, it takes incredible strength. And it makes you wonder, you know, like, where does it end?
And legally speaking, they're not letting this slide. This guy, Russell Frank Fallot, he's facing a serious charge. Ethnic intimidation.
That's a felony, right?
You bet. We're talking up to 2 years in prison.
Wow. Well, that's at least something. It's good that they're taking it seriously, sending a message.
Yeah, like, this isn't just a slap on the wrist. This is serious business. And even the police chief, the prosecutor, they came out strong, saying, 0 tolerance for hate-motivated crimes.
Good. It needs to be clear that this kind of behavior has consequences, you know, that we won't tolerate it as a society.
It makes you wonder, though, right? Are we seeing more and more of this?
It feels like it, doesn't it? Like every day there's a new story about some outrageous incident, whether it's online or, you know, sadly, in person. It's disturbing.
For sure. So where do we go from here? What can we even do about it? It feels like such a big, overwhelming problem.
It is a big problem. But that doesn't mean we're powerless. It starts with each of us. We have to be mindful of our own behavior, of the way we talk about politics, even online.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment, fire off that angry comment, but...
But words have power. They can incite violence. They can create real harm.
So what can we do? How do we bridge these divides? It feels impossible sometimes.
It's not about agreeing with everyone, right? It's about listening, about trying to understand where people are coming from, even when we disagree, strongly disagree.
And that's hard, especially these days when everything feels so polarized. But we have to try.
We do. It's on all of us to create a space where we can have these tough conversations, where we can disagree without resorting to violence or hate. That's the challenge. And frankly, it's something for all of us to think about.
Absolutely. Think about it, folks. It's on us.
Turn the dial to the daily news. Turn the dial to the daily news. Turn the dial to the daily news. Bringing voices, headlines, and shoes. You turn the dial to the daily news.